You are listening to a special edition of a IU Report, Purdue Report crossover. Jake Dunn's, Mike Hutsell's, and Grant Shouse's, and my reaction to Indiana's 72-67 win over Purdue on Tuesday night. Catch Grant and Mike on the IU Report every Tuesday, and Jake and myself on the Purdue Report every Wednesday. So, in just a few hours. Guys, I'm going to hate this Enright kid for the rest of my life. He looks like he's straight out of the movie Benchwarmers, and Jake, that was miserable.
It certainly wasn't fun to watch, that's for sure. Purdue just didn't look like a good basketball team. They looked like a good basketball team for the last month, really. And was hoping in any confidence in this team is pretty non-existent at this point, honestly.
There's still things to be hopeful about, but after tonight, I think the hope goes kind of toward IU. We welcome in Grant Shouse and Mike Hutsell of the IU Report. Guys, big win.
I do have a question for the two Purdue guys, Greg and Jake. Particularly Greg. Has Purdue hit rock bottom?
No.
They just lost to a football school in basketball.
It's not the first time. No. There are still signs of hope. It's getting harder and harder to see, but I will say, as a Purdue fan, the feeling right now with what's gone on the last week plus a couple of days is pretty close, Jake.
Pretty close. Certainly out of the Big Ten race now. Just certainly out of the one seed conversation. So at this point, just kind of hoping for a somewhat good draw in the NCAA tournament at this point.
I mean, it sounds like I'm at a funeral right now. I understand. Listen. I'm not ever going to be Mr. Pick Me Up to Purdue, but you guys still have 6 quad 1 wins. And I know you've gone a 3-game slide here in conference, but at UCLA isn't going to hurt you. That's a quad 1 loss. Illinois isn't going to hurt you. Illinois may be the best team in the freaking Big Ten at this point. We don't know, but they sure as heck look like it on Saturday. And at Indiana isn't going to hurt you. So you're still probably fine on the 2-3 line as far as seeding goes. You'll get this right. There were things that happened tonight that I think as a Purdue fan, you had to be – I know you can't lose to Indiana and feel great about it, but you had to feel like TKR got a little bit of his mojo back. He looked a lot better than I saw him play on Saturday, and that got that screen and roll thing going again with Braden and TKR. And watching defense, Purdue, to me,
defense in the second half was tremendous.
Defense in the second half was tremendous, but I got to ask you guys as Purdue fans, are you kind of tired at this point of maybe tiring at this point of putting Trakoff and Wren at the 4 and not just doing what worked last year and letting him play in the middle? He seems to be better when Clough isn't out there. And I may be crazy in saying that. I haven't watched them all season like you have, but it seems
That's
like
exactly
he gets
what happened tonight.
He seems to get that Clough did not have any factor in tonight's game whatsoever. But once they took him out and they started isolating Coffin, Wren, and Smith, it really looked like the Purdue that I've seen play quite a bit this year. So
and
I am curious if
out there with him.
I am curious if as the season goes on, are you wanting to see less of Oscar Clough?
I think Oscar Clough, he was 1 for 4 tonight. Didn't play particularly well offensively, but he's still a pretty big force. Has a lot of gravity on the boards. So I think he definitely still has some value, but I was kind of wondering the same thing myself, Mike. Kind of having, TKR be there at the 5 and go a little small. obviously something worked when Clough was off the floor. Daniel Jacobson had some good moments, grabbed a couple nice rebounds and had a couple blocks. But yeah.
But it was Benter they went with at the end, and that seemed to really work.
Yeah, I love his shot making ability. That one three there, if he I think Purdue was down 7 or so, if you would have hit that would have been a big one. Obviously, would have shifted pretty much all the momentum to Purdue at that point. So yeah, I think Purdue's definitely got some good pieces there that they can go to late. But yeah, I think it's a game where we thought EKR and Oscar Clough might really be able to shine. Cause IU's front court we didn't think was very strong. I'd certainly be open to trying it at least with TKR at the 5, kind of like last year.
Yeah, hey, Grant, Mike, Reed Bailey played pretty well.
Shut up.
In the first half. He also was one of the guys who almost gagged on it at the free throw line. For as much fun as you guys didn't have for the first 30 minutes, that was the excruciation that, I don't even know if that's a word, that Grant and I were going through over the last 10 minutes of the game. It was just everything that Indiana could possibly have done wrong, they seemed like they did. Tucker DeVries is missing free throws. Reed Bailey's being Reed Bailey. He's not playing good defense, and he's missing free throws. Lamar's throwing the ball to the bench in a key spot.
I thought at that point that could have been a game changer. When he threw the ball away, I just thought, here comes Purdue, and they're going to be able to pull within and probably pull away and win this. And we're going to look back at that turnover right there at being the changing point, the turning point in this game.
Yeah, damn, Jake, I was thinking the same thing.
I think that might have been that turnover out of bounds. I think Jack Benner might have pulled that quick 3 if I remember the sequence correctly. But yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing. That was huge turnover, and thought that maybe Purdue would be able to capitalize on that and really kind of take control of the game again. But ended up missing that 3, and you got the board, and I think we might have went back down and scored. But yeah, I think free throws were a big key for Purdue. 8 of 15, that's 53%. TKR is kind of back to his struggles on the free throw line. He went 5 of 10. Nobody else really shot many free throws for Purdue. So it's a tough 3-game stretch here. Still, I mean, certainly have things to play for, obviously, but would have liked to win at least one of these 3.
I know Grant and I, we've talked all preseason, probably to the point where Greg was like laughing at us like off camera when we talked about Nick Dorn and how important this guy was going to be for the team when he was scoring 2-3 points a night and games against like Incarnate Word or whatever. But you could just see it with that kid. He's a scorer. He's a guy who's got a scorer's mentality. He shot almost 50% from the 3-point line at Elon last year. It's like, if they can just get this kid healthy, get his confidence going, there's something there. He can be that third guy that this team so desperately needed to be a scorer. And now this is 3 games in a row now where he's been in double figures, and he doesn't think about it. When he gets the ball in that corner, he's going to shoot it. And that's a huge, to get that guy going, to get that third guy, it takes pressure off Enright to feel like he has to score. It takes pressure off Conaway when he's healthy. You could tell he was sorely missed tonight, I thought, in stretches. But getting Dorn out there to go with DeVries and Wilkerson, it finally added that third scoring element that it felt like this team was just searching for the first 2 months of the season to find.
I agree with you, Mike. I think that Indiana, what this win does for him, obviously boosts a lot of confidence to win that game at home, because we've seen so many times not just with this team, but with Indiana basketball over the years. We've seen them piss that game away. Just late turnovers like tonight, missed free throws. Everything was pointing towards them throwing that game away, and for them to be able to hunker down and get a big Tucker DeVries had that big rebound there off of like two put back attempts from Trey Kaufman-Renn. He pulled down a big rebound. They hit big free throws down the stretch, even though they missed some. Enright hit a couple big ones, and for them to pull away and get that stop just does a whole lot for their confidence. And the fact that they're going to play again at Mackey, toughest place to play in college basketball. You're going to get Purdue's best shot the next time you play them. But again, this does a lot, for your resume for the NCAA tournament, because it's your first quad one win. And it, again, just what it does for your confidence after you had lost like 5 in a row. Now you're on a winning streak now, and you're going out to your West Coast trip here.
Yeah, that's a key. We talked about this 8-game stretch so often as it was approaching, and who were they going to beat in this stretch? And they didn't beat anybody. And they blew the Nebraska game, and we kind of felt like, okay, you just really let a big opportunity go, because who else are you going to beat? They obviously got destroyed at Michigan State. They didn't play well at Michigan. Hey, guess what? Teams are going to lose at Michigan and at Michigan State. You absolutely crapped the bed against Iowa, and probably your most embarrassing performance of the year, really. And you're coming out of that game going to Michigan. You're not feeling very good vibes. The football team's doing what it's doing, so nobody was paying attention, but you really needed something to get a little bit of the momentum back and get people on board with this team. Well, there's no better way to do that than to go out and beat your arch rival in a game that I don't think anybody in the world, hell, you saw B say it, Grant said it, everybody on the podcast said it, Purdue's going to win this one. I don't think it's going to be particularly close. So it is a big win. It's your first quad one win. It's the signature win of the DeVries era so far. And now you just gotta build on that, because now you got the tough, good teams don't go to the West Coast and win both games in LA. So if you can figure out a way to win these next two, you've got a lot of momentum going into February and a lot lighter schedule.
Okay, well, everybody can go listen to the IU report from on Tuesday. Mike and Grant talked about the IU football schedule, and Jake and I will talk more about this and a little football on the Purdue report coming up on Wednesday. Jake and I will also look ahead to see if Purdue can get this right, and the schedule looks like kind of tough. At Maryland, Oregon at home, at Nebraska, at Iowa, Michigan at home, IU at home, Michigan State at home.
We thought this game wouldn't be particularly close with Purdue and IU. You wouldn't think that Purdue would play Maryland close or Oregon close, but those are teams that can sneak up on you, especially at Maryland. Usually a pretty tough place to play there. Would have liked to win, at least one or two of these games here to still keep you in the race for the Big Ten title, but definitely gonna have to play a little bit better than we have the past few games. So something's got to change defensively.
Well, it did in the second half. That's the good news. Is defensively they looked fantastic in the second half for the first time in a long time.
Tonight, I was thinking, I was like, man, it'd be nice to have Zach Edey back, 7'4" giant who can just grab rebounds and really deter people at the rim. So hopefully Daniel Jacobson can turn the even half of what Zach Edey was, and most Purdue fans would be pretty happy with that. So
nothing's impossible in the NCAA these days, man. Just
if you
find the right judge, you could get Edey back. You could get Edey back by March. Just try to get the paperwork drawn up.
Yeah.
Can Benson have any eligibility left, guys?
Kent Benson? I don't No, I don't. I don't believe so. But Cody Zeller still got 2 years. We're working on that right now in back channels.
There you go. A big trip out west coming up for IU starting this weekend, or starting Saturday at UCLA.
Gotta have it.
I can confidently say going in, yeah, you got to have it. But I can confidently say going in that regardless of the outlook of the game, Mick Cronin is going to be pissed off about and miserable about something. We don't know what exactly. He hasn't had to do a lot of travel. Maybe like his Thai food will be cold or something that he got on takeout the night before. The most miserable human being in the world, and he lives in Los Angeles and coaches basketball. I don't understand that guy. Just such a miserable human being. So maybe the most detestable coach in the Big Ten at this point is Mick Cronin. So if nothing else, let's just go out there and beat that sad sack piece of crap, because I cannot stand that guy. Guys complaining earlier this year because his 80-something-year-old father can't watch him coach. I was like, you took an effing job in Los Angeles, dude. Your dad lives on the East Coast. What did you expect? Sorry. I don't like that guy, and I was so afraid. That was going to be Indiana's coach last year.
Really?
He's just a Cincinnati guy, coached at Louisville. I was like, he's got ties to this region. I was like, I could see it, and thank goodness it didn't happen.
Just a quick comment here. I did think it was funny that the IU fans didn't think that Purdue was good enough to storm the court after they won. I was kind of expecting that. They'd storm the court, and I guess this Purdue team's not good enough to do that.
If you were ranked where Greg reminded everybody it was at the beginning of the year, if you were still ranked number 1, they probably would have. But at the same time, Jake, this is still, like Grant said, it's still a football school right now. These basketball fans are just learning to love the sport again. So,
yeah.
Hey, this has been so much fun, guys.
Do we think
it's been like best 20 minutes of my life?
Do we think that maybe Signetti's aura in the building tonight helped towards this win?
I don't think there's any doubt.
Guy's aura literally unlocked my car.
I was going to say, your car started because Curt Cignetti was in the same city as the car. So, did Barry Odom go to a basketball game recently, and that's why this 3-game losing streak started?
Jake, when I decided to do these reaction podcasts, I didn't even think through this scenario right here.
Yeah.
I did not think it through. I usually want to sulk by myself after a loss like this for 24 hours or so, and I just put myself right in front of Mike Hutsell.
After a Purdue loss to Indiana. Hey, I was good up until that one. I had to get one in. I had to get one in.
I don't blame you.
You'll get me back in February, I'm sure.
Hey, Jake, Purdue won the women's game on Sunday.
Yeah, that's usually where I'm looking at the scores or reading about them losing by 30 or 40. So nice to see a win there.
And
Indiana is capably taken that role this year. I think they're 0-10 in conference at this point.
Krzyzewski's good.
She's good. She is good.
Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.